Mindy. I'm working on a blanket from, I think, Pretty Darn Adorable is her YouTube name. And it is a crunch stitch blanket, which involves doing a half double crochet and then a slip stitch. So it's a pretty easy pattern to do. You just have to follow the directions. She does have a tutorial for it on her channel. It uses a size 15 millimeter hook and a 6 to 7 skeins of Bernat blanket. So I just started this afternoon and I'm already this high on it. So that's pretty good. And we'll see who all shows up. Hi there, welcome in. My name's Mindy. I'm working on a crunch stitch blanket. I spooked whoever it was. Let's tilt this up just a tad. Welcome in. My name's Mindy from Syracuse, and I'm working on a crunch stitch blanket. Welcome in. You're welcome to grab a project and join me if you want to. I'm going to crochet for about an hour. And I am working on this crunch stitch blanket from a lady on YouTube called Pretty Darn Adorable, I think is her YouTube name. Hi Madeline, welcome in. I'm going to pull out some yarn here. All right. So this stitch is pretty easy. It's a half double crochet and then a single, sorry, not a single, a slip stitch. And you end in a slip stitch and then you start with a half double crochet. So it's pretty easy. It's a multiple of 2 plus 1. Madeline says, yesterday I finished 2 hats, 1 knit, 1 on the loom. Cool. That's awesome, Madeline. I just started this blanket today. I'll show you how far I am on it and what the pattern looks like. Looks like this. It's called the crunch stitch. Like I said, it's half double crochet and then a slip stitch. It's from Pretty Darn Adorable, and it's her tutorial. So I won't give you any details on how many I chained or anything like that. But I encourage you to go look at her tutorial. I didn't link to it, but you should be able to find it pretty easily. And Madeline says, today crocheting a scarf. Cool. Beautiful colors on the blanket. Thank you. It is, what color is this? Salmon Sand Variegated. And I have 6 skeins of this that I can use. So that's perfect because it takes 6 to 7 skeins. So I thought, hey, that's an opportunity to use up quite a bit of yarn in one blanket. So I'll start it and go from there. I think it comes out to 50 by 60, if I remember correctly. But you can check out her tutorial for that. It's pretty darn adorable. I'll try and do a post where I link to it. I will do the post later. I obviously can't do it right now. But you're working sideways on this. Kind of like I am with my half double crochet. Madeline says my scarves are 4.5 inches, and 46 or 40 to 48. Ah, cool. This is pretty easy once you get the swing of things to know where your loops go. Because the tip I can give you is you're always doing the slip stitch above the half double. And then you're doing the half double above the slip stitch. Madeline says that's length. So I got my new glasses. I stopped at you'll have to watch her tutorial. It's pretty darn adorable. Like I said, I'll do a post later that'll link to it. It's a multiple of 2 plus 1. Because, you know, I want to have her be the one to teach you how to do it. Because it's pretty easy, but it's somebody else's video, so I'd rather link to it. And Yaz is here and says hi. Hi, Yaz. Welcome in. And Madeline says hi, Yaz. I think I'm confused here. Hang on one second. Just did a half double. Now I got to do a slip stitch. And Bridget's here and says, hi, happy Sunday. Well, it's Saturday here. And Madeline says, hi, Bridget. Yep, Saturday here too, says Madeline. Bridget says brain is not braining. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought you were like, Bridget, you're near Buffalo, right? Do I remember that right? Or no? Yep. Okay, good. Madeline says it's a great, nice day there. Well, it was cold and it was snowing before. So, yay, rah. And Madeline sent 100. Thank you, Madeline. I appreciate that. And Madeline says, later, bye. Okay, Madeline, have a nice day. And Bridget says, I usually catch your lives on Sundays, so that's my excuse. Yeah, you got a whole weekend. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so I just did a slip stitch, so I got to do a half double. I got to say, I like this stitch. It's pretty easy to do. And it's coming out really nice. And Bridget says, yeah, happy Saturday, Mindy. Thank you. What have you been working on, Bridget? Amigurumi for your son. Oh, that's nice. Bridget says, I have a fox pattern. It's a little kit I picked up at a craft exchange. Nice. Well, I watched this tutorial today. There was like an article that had links to 33 Bernat blanket yarn patterns. This was one of them in a blog post, and then she had a um, video with it, and it's pretty darn adorable, I think is the name of the blog, and that's her YouTube handle too. Pretty darn adorable. And this is called the crunch stitch, so it's pretty easy. Like I said, I'll try and do a post afterwards with a link to it so that you can find the pattern and follow the tutorial and make your own blanket. Yeah, it is. It is a cute name. I got to go back and do that again because I went around all 3 loops and I only need to go around 2 loops. I got my Pipsqueak yarn today from Amazon. So I've got yarn to make a baby blanket for the new baby that's going to be in the family, which is kind of exciting. The colorway, the yarn colorway you're working with reminds me of a fox. It's called salmon variegated. So it kind of looks like cooked salmon to me. It's like that pale pink color. But I got 6 balls of it, so I might as well use them up. Yeah, I was like, hey, that pattern uses 6. I can use more yarn quicker. So I decided to use it. Sounds like the neighbor's doing some work on his truck or his car. It's showing as fawn brown on your phone. Okay. Yeah, there is some brown in it, but this is the salmon color, and then this is the brown right there. This is the brown by my thumb. This is the salmon color that I'm pushing on. So yeah, it's hard because a lot of their colors blend right in. So if you hear noise, my neighbor has a radio going. They're young people, so they have eclectic tastes in music. Right now it sounds like rap. So if you hear some noise, that's what it is. So, like I said, I went and got new glasses. I got lunch at Chili's, brought home a lot of lunch with me. I got the baked potato soup, which was really good, and then I had a couple pieces of quesadillas. And brought the rest of the quesadillas home. Had a little bit for a snack a little while ago. I'll eat the rest of them for supper. Yeah, it would be pretty for a baby blanket. I'm using the 6 skeins to make a teenage size throw. I think this is going to come out to be like 50 by 60 if I play my cards right. I don't know. Might come out skinnier than that. It's fine. Hang on. Forgot to do a slip stitch above my half double. At least I can tell when I've made a mistake. It's fairly obvious now that I've been through the pattern a couple of times. This yarn I think I got off of Amazon, and it was cheaper than a lot of the other ones. I think it was like in the $16 range for a 2-pack, so it wasn't too awful bad. All right. And I just did the wrong stitch again. Hang on. Let's see. Bridget said, just came back from lunch in Lockport. Nice little place called Kith and Kin. Ah, interesting. Yeah, that is a good price for the yarn. All right, then there we go. So again, this is what the pattern looks like. It comes out really nice. It's got a bit of texture, but it's also got some holes in it, so it'd be a better spring type blanket because it's got some air flow in it. I think it almost looks like a lace pattern. I'll show you that again a little slower. And you can see, you get the slip stitch right there. Yeah, it is kind of like basket weave. You're right. I did finish a corner to corner blanket last night out of puzzle that I've been working on forever. So I felt like I accomplished something. Why I started another blanket without finishing another one, I don't know. Maybe my mind needed a break. And Bridget says, I'm working in finishing projects in my unfinished projects bin. Oh, good for you. I've just got blankets that I'm currently working on that I rotate in and out of. And I'm using a 15 millimeter hook, which is what the pattern recommended. So I liked that immediately too. I was like, hey, I can get another project with a 15 millimeter hook. So I'll probably use this pattern again because it's easy to do and it works up pretty fast. And I just watched a couple episodes of Star Trek on Pluto TV, which is a free streaming service that you can use. You just download the app. It's from Paramount. Good afternoon, Kristen. So it was the original series, and I watched a couple of episodes. The one with the Dolmen of Alas and The one where they're trapped on a planet with an empath and aliens who are experimenting on them. Welcome in, Kristen. I hope you're doing well. Where am I? I am not in the right place. Not in the right place. Okay. Let me go back. Make sure I am in the right place. Doing fairly well. We have carpet in the basement finally, says Kristen. Great. So they got the extra carpet and brought it back. That's good. I found out from my cousin that my other cousin and her daughter were in town taking my aunt, who lives in the assisted living facility, out shopping for a bed because her bed, her twin bed that she brought with her from the house that was like an extra bed they just had laying around the house, was kind of uncomfortable. So they were going out and buying her a bed with an adjustable frame on it so she could, tip up her head or tip up her knees if she needs to. So that was good. Bridget said, I sorted my yarn bids out finally. I have a bin for new yarn, one for older stash yarn, one for sentimental yarn, and one for unfinished projects. Kristen says, yep, the carpet guys were back around 10 a.m. and just finished up a few minutes ago. And Bridget says, like a hospital bed. Yeah, like a hospital bed, exactly. Because she's in assisted living and she needs something that's comfortable. She's older, so if she wants to stay up at night, she can put her head up and read or watch TV or whatever, and then just lay down, or if she wants to put up her knees, she can, because she said the bed was so uncomfortable that she was sleeping on. She was like halfway through the night, she was getting up and going and sleeping in the recliner. And obviously you can't do that for so long. You can't really stretch out in a recliner. Good bed is such a good investment. Yeah. She's got the money to do it. That's for sure. And I was a good girl and I called Friday night to roll over my 401k from my old job into my new job. So I'll get that check sometime in the next couple of weeks. Because I was like, I got to be a responsible adult here. The new job's 401k pays better rate of return than my other account was getting. So I was like, I might as well just roll it over. It makes more sense to do that and have it all in one spot. So, and the girl on the phone was really nice. She helped me out. I switched jobs a year ago. I just haven't, I just never got to the stage where I was like, yeah, I've got to roll it over. And then the tax lady was like, you should roll it over. You should roll it over and put it all in one place. Makes more sense. Yes, Consolidation is good retirement management. Yeah, because it's easier to find the accounts. Okay, we got 29 people in here and 7 likes. I would like some more thumbs up, please. If you can do that, please and thank you. You can do a thumbs up by going tap, tap right on your screen. You don't even have to leave the video. Appreciate that. And of course, my name is Mindy. I'm from Syracuse, New York. And I am working on a crunch stitch blanket based off of the tutorial from Pretty Adorable Crochet, I think is her name. Kristen says, hubby is moving back into the basement early before the guys come to move everything back in. He moved his couch. Oh, okay. That's good. I texted with my friend today, and they're going to the indoor percussion circuit final tomorrow out in Rochester area. I am not going because it would be an all-day affair, and it would be getting done pretty late, and I don't want to be out that late. So I offered to let the dog out while they were there because they're going to be gone for hours. And the poor dog is going to be there by himself at the house. So I was like, yeah, I'll run over and let the dog out. No big deal. What time do you want me to go over? And she's like, about dinner time. I'm like, cool. So that's my plan, is to go out around dinner time tomorrow. Yeah, he is a sad dog. He sits by the door and waits for his humans to come home. He's a golden doodle, and he's adorable. He's a good dog. Yeah, he's grown up with my goddaughter. She was very little. She was like very little. She was just starting to toddle around when they got him. So she's grown up with the dog. And she's going to be 15 in December. Uh, Did it again. Did it again. I'm forgetting to do my slip stitches over the top of my half double crochets. And I notice it when I get there, and then I'm like, this looks weird. Why does this look weird? And Catherine says hi. Welcome in, Catherine. Yeah, he's a healthy dog. They feed him a good food, and he gets out and stuff. He's got cataracts, though, so it's difficult for him to see. and Minnie has a knot, which is not good. So let me pull on the knot, and I think that's going to come out. Golden doodles live long lives, in my opinion, says Bridget. Okay, so let me clip out the knot, and then do my own knot. I can stay there for a second. So I'm going to go over 1, under 2, through, and loop, over 1, under 2, sort of, hang on, over 1, under 2, and loop. And I'm going to pull that sucker, and it's going to be tight. And I'm going to cut close to the knot. And we should be good. All right. So now I can do my half double, not my half double, my slip stitch, and then my half double. And that knot will hide right in there. Pull on this yarn a bit. Hang on. Okay. Got a little bit of yarn to work with now. Bridget said, why are you doing what you're doing? The unknotting the knot, cutting it out, and then re-knotting it. Because usually a factory knot is not a reliable knot to crochet over. It depends on who does the knotting, and I'm more secure with me doing a magic knot because I know specifically that that knot is going to hold. I've seen other crocheters use that knot a lot in their blankets with chenille yarn like this, and I know that it holds. So that's why I cut it out and did it, because you can't always rely on a factory knot to hold, because usually it's just an overhand knot, you know, and it's not anything that's meant to hold permanently. Yep, I should have done a slip stitch there. True, nice technique. Yeah, it's called a magic knot. You can YouTube it. I do my own variation of it, but um, you can YouTube it, and there's a bunch of different ways to do it. And again, this is what the pattern looks like when you'll look it up. Okay. Like I said, it's called a magic knot. This is the crunch stitch, what I'm doing, the half double and then the slip stitch. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. We got a baseball game to watch tonight at 7:15, so that's good. It's on Fox tonight if you're interested in watching the Yankees. And then most of the games next week are at like 9:40 at night, so I won't be watching them. I'll probably watch the replay the next day. They've only gotten 2 games into the regular season, so we've got like 166 games to go, something like that. And they've won both games, so that's good. They're on a road trip right now, and they're playing the San Francisco Giants. And then I think, I can't remember, Seattle maybe they're playing next. Hi, Ravy, welcome in. And Cherry Blossom wants to know what I'm crocheting. I'm crocheting a blanket. It's with the crunch stitch, and it's going side to side. So let me show you what that looks like. It's this way, and I'm crocheting it back and forth the long way. So it'll look like this when it's all done. It's a tutorial from Pretty Adorable Crochet, I think is her YouTube name. I'm going to try and link to the tutorial in a post when I'm done so you can find it. I didn't link to it today. And it'll probably take 24 hours for this replay to upload anyways. YouTube is kind of weird like that. Yep, says Bridget. Cherry Blossom says, LOL, I'm making a blanket right now. Oh, cool. Me too. I make mine for Project Linus that gives blankets away to kids. There's a volunteer in my area who collects all the blankets from centralized points around central New York and then around the Syracuse area, and then she distributes them. Some go to our children's hospital, some go to the labor and delivery unit at Upstate Hospital. She works with the Children's Advocacy Center, where kids who are victims of crime go to receive services. So that's what the deal is with that. They have a basket at the local library for Project Linus donations. Yeah, every chapter is different, so check with the coordinator for what sizes they accept. Because mine accepts everything from 36 by 36 all the way up to 50 by 60. But I've heard from another person in another area that their chapter only accepts a certain size when they donate. They only have one size that they're donating. So it all depends on what the local chapter needs. Yes, they must be machine washable and dryable. Easy care. They also accept, I believe most of them accept quilts too. But like I said, check with your local chapter. If you Google Project Linus, it'll take you to the national website, which then you can glory, hallelujah. It'll come to me in a minute, which will take you to an area where you can look up your local requirements or get you in touch with your local coordinator who can give you more information. Yep, chapter. That's where it was the word I was looking for. That's one of the reasons why I use Bernat blanket, because it is machine washable and dryable. It's 100% polyester, so it's machine washable and dryable, and it's thick, so I can get more blankets done quicker. It kills me when I have to do a worsted weight blanket because I'm like, oh, this is taking forever. Like I just started this today and I'm almost through an entire skein of Bernat blanket. And it's coming along pretty well. Bridget says, good on the hands, otherwise most polyester gives my hands cringe. And Kristen says, oof, the new carpet smell is awful. Yeah, usually carpet has to air out for a couple of days. You may want to open the windows if it weren't so freaking cold. We used to have to off gas our carpet at the hotel when they put in new carpets. Or put a small air cleaner in there if you have one. That might help the smell too. Okay, I just did a half double crochet, so I gotta do a slip stitch. Wowzers. I don't know what I'm doing. Hang on. I don't know, right? So cold and winter snowflakes and it's March. What? Says Bridget. Yeah. We got snow here today too for a little bit when I was on my way home from lunch. I came out of the restaurant and was like, you know, like you always get in the car when somebody else pulls up right next to you and they sit in the car for a while and you're like, do I pull out? Because if I pull out, then they're going to open their door. Sure enough, she opened her door and then I see the car seat in the back. I'm like, oh, she's got to get the baby out of the back of the car. So she got the baby out of the back of the car and they finally went in and then I was able to leave. Kristen's in Maryland, so it must be warmer down there, I hope. And not snowing like it is up here in Syracuse and Buffalo, sounds like. Bridget said, I was planning to do errands after lunch, but then the snow and the cold, I just think inside projects today. And Daisy says, Jesus loves you. He died for your sins, rose again, and offers you eternal life to all who believe in him. He's coming back soon. Okay. Thanks, Daisy, for stopping by. I usually don't do a lot of religion on my channel, so I appreciate the thought. Thank you. And Kristen says mid-40s currently. So we're in good shape. I'm going to hide user on this channel. Because not everybody shares Daisy's views. And I don't want to offend anybody. And Bridget says, is it windy, Kristen? Is it windy, Kristen? And Kristen says, not really. Bridget wants to know how are everyone's spring gardens coming. Well, I have tulips that were gonna come up, or narcissus, daffodils, I think. Got to see what's going to happen with the snow, though. The snow didn't stick around, so that's good. And the rest of my garden is perennials. So I have horseradish that will come back up. So I gotta find out from my friends if they want horseradish. If they do, I'll dig it up before it starts growing new shoots. Bridget says we only have daffodil stems, no flowers yet, gratefully. Oh, I just did a half double crochet, didn't I? What am I doing? Oh my word. Hang on. That was a half double. This is a slip stitch. Then I'm doing another half double, and then I'm ending with a slip stitch. The horseradish greens are tasty though. Oh, I've never had horseradish greens. I myself do not care for horseradish. It is horseradish from my grandparents' house that my mother transplanted up here 30 years ago. More than 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago. And it's grown like a weed ever since. It doesn't matter how much root I hack off, it comes back with a vengeance every year. And it's right by my front steps. And Tia says, hi there, did I miss anything? Not really. I've just been chatting with people for like an hour, and I'm working on a crunch stitch blanket. It's half double crochet and then slip stitch, and you just repeat that all the way across. I'm gonna put the link to the tutorial from Pretty Darn Adorable Crochet, I think is her name on YouTube, and you can go check out her tutorial for it, because it's not my tutorial, it's hers. Oh, the horseradish is like inheriting an animal, only it's immortal. Yeah, it is immortal. It is. And it's really healthy horseradish, you know. I mean, and the way my grandfather used to process it and put it in oil, and they would use it that way. But my aunt came up with a better way on the other side of the family. She takes the root, wraps it in saran wrap, puts it in a plastic freezer bag and puts it in the freezer. And then when she wants to use it, she takes it out. She grates what she needs, like into meatloaf or something like that, or cocktail sauce. And then she puts the root back in the saran wrap in the freezer bag and sticks it in the freezer. So it works out really nicely. And then you don't get like stinging eyes and crazy stuff, because horseradish is kind of noxious. It's an understatement. My grandfather almost asphyxiated himself a couple of times. Kristen says that definitely works. Yeah. So if you know anybody who's got horseradish and you got a root, you can do it that way, and then you'll always have fresh, crispy horseradish. All right, we're at an hour, but I'm sensing that perhaps you would like me to stay on. I'm not really sure. You guys tell me. What do you want me to do? Stay on? Do you want to move on to somebody else's feed? He was trying to prepare it in with a blender in an enclosed garage, um, with the door open, only he wasn't near the edge of the door. He was like way in the back of the garage. So that stuff is pretty noxious. I mean, if you get a taste of regular horseradish, you know how strong it is. Well, it's very, very noxious when it's cut up and prepared. So it was not a good scene. He was like, he came in and there were tears in his eyes. It was, Bridget says, stay on. Okay, I'll stay on. That works for me. I mean, that's at least the way I remember it when I was a kid. Whether or not that's a true memory, I don't know. But I wouldn't try and prepare it in an enclosed space without good ventilation. I can tell you that. You know, if you were trying to make it like a sauce or something, like preserve it in oil or something like that. Mm. Keep wanting to do 2 half double crochets in a row. And I should do a single, not a single, a slip stitch. As a kid, we only had it for Passover as the bitter herb for tears of sorrow. Oh, okay. Interesting, Bridget. Thanks for sharing that. I know of Passover and the Seder and stuff like that, but I don't know all the specific customs. Bridget says, sounds like yours would more than qualify. Hee hee. Yep. It's a remembrance told through, it's a remembrance story told through food and songs. Okay. I mean, I remember it was, what was it, the blood of the lambs on the door frames to, so that the houses were passed over. That was one of the things we had to do when we were joining my local church. We had to know about other religious traditions. So we were going to go to Mass at the Catholic Church. That got canceled, but I had already been to Mass at the Catholic Church before because the Catholic Church was across from my elementary school. And whenever somebody was really sick or there was a death in the family or something like that, the whole entire, um, my mom was a teacher at my elementary school. And after church, we would, after school, it was like, yep, there's a special mass for so and so, show up. And everybody in the school that was staff showed up, whether or not you were Catholic or not. So I've already been to mass quite a few times. And my neighbor was Catholic, and took me to mass. But the other place we went was Temple Adith Yeshira in Syracuse. And we went to a Saturday night service that was for young people, um, at that time. So I was 13 years old, 12 to 13 when I was joining our local church. So it was an eye opening experience. They had a cantor and they took us on a tour afterwards and explained things, and I had not had Jewish friends growing up. So, oh, you're right. Thank you for letting me know that I'm doing half double crochet like a crazy person. Yes, it's the blood of the lamb on the door to fool the angel that death sent to punish the Egyptians. And it's a dark story. Yeah. So I got going down memory lane and was ignoring what I was actually supposed to be doing crochet wise. So, yeah, that was a good experience. Um, Going to the synagogue. Each of the plagues are represented in the dinner. Oh, interesting. Cool. All right. So I've learned a little bit today, which is good. And I'm doing it again. I'm off a stitch. Where am I off? I'm off right here. Okay. Slip stitch. Half double. Slip stitch. Half double. Slip stitch. Half double. That's fascinating, Bridget. Kristen says, I unfortunately was only exposed to Catholicism. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I work with a gentleman who is Muslim at work, and he just got through Ramadan, and he explained Ramadan to me, so that was interesting. What am I doing here? Bridget said, I was raised Jewish and Catholic. I am not religious now. I celebrate the humanity in everyone. Cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. I was raised Methodist, but I respect everybody's right to believe what they want to believe. Because if I had the ultimate answer, I wouldn't be here on the earth. Let's put it that way. What's the story of Ramadan? I don't know the historical significance of it, but it's kind of like a time of testing. You fast during daylight hours and you don't drink any water. And then when you get to nightfall after sunset, then you can eat and drink. And I think it lasts for about a month. And then there's a big party when the fasting is done. Let me see where I am here. It seemed like it was about a month, and then I think it broke like last weekend because my coworker went to go see his cousin and celebrate with him. And it's a thing you do in Islam. Bridget says like the 40 days and 40 nights. I think it's kind of like that. I don't know if we have anyone who's Muslim in the audience who'd like to explain. Kristen says, I was raised Catholic, obviously, but I'm pagan now. Okay, that's cool. I knew somebody that was pagan, or they are still pagan. I just don't see them on a regular basis anymore. They were in a knitting group that I was in about 10 years ago. I stopped going in knitting and crochet groups a long time ago. I just, there got to be a lot of problems that I was hearing about, and it became more like a therapy session. And I was kind of like, yeah, I kind of can't do that anymore because I had problems of my own going on, and I felt like, you know, like I wasn't, like I was getting depressed going. Bridget says the three Abrahamic religions tend to have a lot of crossovers. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's originally from Afghanistan. Really, really nice guy. You know, and the other thing I know about him is he does not drink alcohol because that is a thing when you're Muslim and you're a devout Muslim. And he's just a nice young man. I can say that because he just turned 25 this year. So, but he's very good at his job, really nice guy. And we get along great. And the other lady I work with was raised Jewish. She does not attend services anywhere now. So it's not your job to offer therapy when all you want to do is chat and craft. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of why I went to the YouTube streets this year was I needed a sense of community, but I did not need, and if somebody has a problem in this group, I have no problem with them going, "Hey, you know, can you send me good vibes or a prayer or something like that?" Or here's what's going on in my life. If something sad or something happy is going on, I got no problem with somebody sharing that. So, Rebecca, touched by yarn, says, "Hi everyone, I'm laying down resting, but I'm watching." Okay, cool. Well, I think I'm going to get off now because I'm starting to get a dry throat and I think I need to get something to drink. And I'm almost at the end of this yarn. So I've almost used almost a whole skein up, which is good. So I'll be able to add this to my little pile of labels. So y'all have a good day. Again, this is what the pattern looks like. It is crunch stitch. Kristen says, have a good day, everyone. Is that a 6-ply yarn? If it is, what size hook are you using? It's a 6, super bulky Bernat blanket. And I'm using a size 15 millimeter hook. Check my posts in a couple of minutes because I'm going to link to the tutorial. That is not my tutorial. It's pretty darn adorable crochet. And it's her tutorial for this blanket. And I just followed her tutorial. It's free on YouTube. So you can check it out.